one of the issues I think is studying the night before and the day of. Because I took an afternoon exam and I kind of was studying all the way.
Let's welcome our next guest who just recently passed the CPA exam.
I'm Kyle. I'm a tax associate with Onisco and Schultz for about 5 years. I just recently passed the CPA exam.
How did you study for the CPA exam in general?
Well, what I did is, first and foremost, is I put together a plan to kind of just keep me focused. So it's kind of a 3-month process. The first month, I kind of just read through the book, the entire textbook. For 6 weeks after that, I just did as many multiple choice and simulations as I could. And then the last 2 weeks, I just go over the ones I got wrong and kind of did some practice tests. Kind of what I do when I'm doing the questions is anything I get wrong, I write down in my notebook kind of where I went wrong with the question, and then review those every once in a while. But I try to do all the multiple choice and around maybe 50 to 70 of the sims within the test bank. I try to do at least 1 to 2 hours during the weekdays and then maybe 5 to 6 each weekend day. And what I do from the beginning is I kind of divide all the multiple choice within the Surgeon CPA's test bank. I divide it by the days I'm going to be studying and I try to hit that amount, whether it's 30 or 50, just kind of keeping pace.
How do you study for multiple choice questions?
Not quite, other than if I get something wrong, I try to go through and kind of see where I went wrong and kind of take notes on that, kind of just to help me process that in my head until I remember it when I take the exam.
How do you study for simulation questions?
For simulation, I think that's one thing I've heard a lot of people say, oh, don't do it because you might not see that question in the exam and it takes a lot of time. But I found that when you get into the exam, it kind of helps to do those simulations just so you're not like a deer in the headlights, kind of like, whoa, there's this huge question with all these documents, and kind of like, even though you know the material, you get a little bit like shocked by it. So kind of like you do in a workout, just do the hard stuff so you can do it with ease.
How do you take study notes?
On the ones I got wrong, yes, I would try to like just note what I got wrong. But anything I got right, I kind of just did as many questions as I can.
Which material did you study first for the CPA exam?
Well, first I try to read the entire book, and then I go straight into questions. If I struggle in an area, like for example, I struggled with government and FAR, then I would watch the videos, but I didn't watch too many videos, just the areas I struggled in. I know for a lot of people, they like the visuals and the kind of the audio and the videos, they help well.
How did you manage the study time?
So I knew I wasn't going to be able to study during tax season, so what I tried to do is right after tax season, I got through 3 exams, and that way I could take a break during tax season where I would be busy to finish up that last exam. But yeah, so during the rest of the year, it's usually the 40-hour week, so it's not too bad. I'm able to have time for studying. Yeah, fortunately with my firm, it's not too big, so I don't have to necessarily work the extreme hours that you would at a bigger company. So during the off season, it's not as bad.
What were your top CPA exam study preparation mistakes?
One of the things is just have a schedule and a plan intact, because it's easy to get kind of off track if you don't have a plan together. Also, another item would probably to be not like, for me, I think when I did FAR, one of the issues I think is studying the night before and the day of, because I took an afternoon exam and I kind of was studying all the way and it kind of tired me out. So I think kind of taking a break that day before and maybe scheduling a morning exam would be the best thing. Kind of not having anything that would kind of distract you. Study in an environment that kind of helps kind of motivate you to study. My friend John, he would take me out to Seven Leaves or the Huntington Library, and it was a fun experience. It was actually like I'm going out and doing something as opposed to being cooped up in the house. So I did it. That is a good thing. If it helps motivating you getting out to study, then that's a good idea.